In our morning rounds, Matcha Madness. See, that's a play on March Madness. I like it. The green tea, popular for centuries in Japan, has crossed the Pacific Ocean now. Tea sales in this country have increased fivefold in the past 25 years to more than $10 billion with a B a year. And matcha is poised to break through, thanks to its caffeine kick, they say, and the health benefits, too. Vinita Nair sipped the specialty brew. Tells us what it's like. Vinita, good morning.
Good morning. I certainly did. You'll see my unfiltered response to the taste. While the United States drinks coffee 3 times more than tea, we are slowly starting to embrace matcha and understand why the Japanese have consumed it for centuries.
Yeah, a little more sustainable as far as that jolt, the crash you get with coffee.
Graham Fortgang was a daily coffee drinker. He needed the jolt, so he ignored the drawbacks.
Espresso energy drinks made my heart race. I have like little acid reflux issues, so I was looking for something that was not only gentler on my body, but would result in what I call like a more sustainable fuel.
That's when he found matcha, ground up tea leaves harvested primarily from the Kyoto region in Japan. Matcha didn't upset his stomach. It's low in acidity and left him alert and relaxed for hours without the jitters associated with coffee.
Matcha has something called L-theanine in it. Not only do you have an extended release caffeine, but you also have this calming factor, which results in what we call a calm, focused energy. We finalized the recipes for the spring.
Quickly a convert, Graham and his brother Max
Matcha cocoa with almond
decided to open up Matcha Bar in Brooklyn, becoming the first modern matcha cafe in New York City. How many of the people that come through your doors, this is their first experience with matcha?
Yeah. On the weekends, I would say it's about 60–70%. Weekdays, we have our regulars. People who respond nice to it, they're coming back every day. Instead of their morning espresso, it's their morning matcha.
That morning matcha is a lot more accessible these days, with cafes popping up from LA to Miami to Boston. Do you have Japanese people who come in and say, what's going on here? This is not matcha?
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's just Japanese people, but we have tea experts come in, kind of like the kind of look.
Ippodo Tea has been preparing matcha in the same way for nearly 300 years in their Kyoto shop. 2 years ago, they opened up a Manhattan store.
So when people usually say cup of matcha, they're thinking usucha.
Where tea expert Kathy Y.L. Chan is a regular customer.
It's become really trendy in the last 2 years, but it's not new at all. It's been around for centuries.
To make traditional matcha, first the tea powder is scooped and sifted to make it more uniform. Then hot water is added.
Make sure it's not boiling. You want water somewhere between 165 to 170.
The tea master then uses a handcrafted bamboo whisk to stir, flicking his wrist without ever touching the bottom of the bowl. It looks beautiful, but it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Right. What do you think?
It tastes a little bit like seaweed. It definitely has a very potent flavor.
Right.
Matcha was originally used by monks in Japan to center themselves during meditation. Over time, it became part of traditional Japanese tea ceremonies and then an everyday drink. Since you consume the entire leaf instead of a bag steeped in water, matcha has more fiber and 10 times the amount of antioxidants than regular green tea.
The tea leaves that are used to produce matcha are shaded a few weeks before they're picked. So you get lots of extra chlorophyll, vitamins, which is good for detoxing, removing heavy metals from the body.
While matcha's popularity is relatively new in the U.S., you can already find it cropping up in cutting-edge restaurants, sprinkled on Starbucks green tea lattes, or used by models during New York's Fashion Week. The growing matcha community is also taking to social media, sharing ideas, creations, or simply beautiful photos.
And you know, in this world of like Instagram, Twitter, social media, and blogs and everything, visuals are such a huge part of the appeal, and matcha just happens to be prettier.
Green tea leaves, stone ground into a powder, right?
While Graham Fortgang admits the flavor takes some getting used to, he believes green is the new gold. So you don't think it's a fad because you're saying it's a real thing? The benefits are real?
The proof is in the pudding, you know? New Yorkers are the biggest skeptics in the world. If you can turn them against coffee, you can turn anybody against it.
The brothers of Matcha Bar told us their next goal is mass production. They are hoping to make some sort of bottled matcha to be sold in stores around the country. Nora?
Your mama raised you right, Vinita. It's potent. Yes.
There's certain code words.
Yeah. Looks like a lot of work, too, to make it.
Thank you, Vinita.